Tonight, on Closer Look, it's made of 127 hockey sticks used by players from each of the inaugural 6 teams of the Professional Women's Hockey League. But the symbolism of the 4-foot-tall, 6-foot-wide goalie mask stretches far beyond the cities of Toronto, Montreal, Boston, New York, and Minnesota. Here to talk about that and the dreams of making it big for one Burlington native is Burlington Today reporter Chris Arnold. Chris, let's start with Emma Maltais, who's had an illustrious career that we'll get to shortly. She's from Burlington and grew up playing hockey on boys' teams. What was that like for her, and did it shape her style of play or approach to the game in ways that maybe differ from her peers who started in girls' leagues?
Yeah, so Emma did start playing boys hockey right here in Burlington, but she was still really young at that time. There just wasn't really an option for her to play girls hockey in town. She pretty quickly made the switch over to neighboring Oakville to play for the Oakville Hornets girls hockey club, which to this day she still holds the team record for most points with 147. That's 55 goals and 92 assists. So for her, playing with the boys gave her that little extra drive, I think, to just reach a little bit higher than a lot of young girls hockey players at the time ever thought possible. She always knew that she wanted to be on the Canadian national team, and eventually she made it there and well beyond into the PWHL now.
Yeah, I read your piece, Chris, and didn't realize that her career was as storied as it is, including 4 gold medals with Team Canada, including 1 at the Olympics, and now stars, of course, for the Toronto Scepters of the PWHL. How has the PWHL success in its first season impacted players like Emma and the broader visibility of women's hockey?
I think it's completely changed the way that hockey fans view women's hockey. I mean, there's been women's leagues in the past, like the Canadian Women's Hockey League was founded in 2007, but that shut down in 2019. The National Women's Hockey League was established in 2015, changed its name to the Premier Hockey Federation, for those who remember, in 2021, but that also shut down a couple years later in 2023. Now having the PWHL, it's a league that was effectively put together in only a few months, right? So there wasn't a ton of focus and efforts put in on the branding side of things at the time, but instead on the on-ice product and a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Getting these women players the proper pay structure, getting the travel scheduling sorted out, the logistical side, having national broadcasters in both countries. There are games on CBC, Sportsnet, now on Amazon Prime, same as the NHL here. So it's just getting more eyes on the game, and the crowd sizes are really reflective of that too.
And at the end of the day, it's great hockey. Okay, I know, Chris, you've had lengthy discussions with Emma. What does she think about being a part of a league with such strong symbolic gestures like the hockey stick sculpture that was created by Miss Douglas?
The exposure and the celebration of women that something like this signifies, she said that was just heartwarming and really exciting for her. I know she also posted a couple photos onto her Instagram of the event at the Eaton Center when it was launched. She told me more things like this that happen, the more momentum will continue for the league, and that's just going to be better for women's hockey and for hockey overall as a sport.
So how do initiatives like this blend the artistic and athletic worlds to inspire future generations of female athletes?
I think by seeing something of this size in person and seeing the detail on each stick, which is what Douglas actually said was her favorite part of building it, the handwritten names, the different ways each player was taping the sticks, and seeing all the chips and battle scars that have been embedded into the bodies of these sticks. Each of those 127 sticks represents a player who, when they were a little girl, did not have a league of players like themselves to look up to, and now they do, and they're part of it.
The Toronto Scepters, of course, Chris, now playing out of Coca-Cola Coliseum. How has moving there changed the game day atmosphere for the Toronto Scepters?
Yeah, so moving out of the Toronto Metropolitan University Arena, which held a couple thousand people, now in Coca-Cola having a capacity of nearly 8,000, and also host the Toronto Marlies, is huge. There's better facilities, there's better ice. The whole thing for players is just better. There's only been a few games played there. They played a handful of their games last year, I believe, and the season only kicked off this weekend. So things are still fresh for all the players there. But put simply, everything's bigger. The crowd's bigger. There's more of a team to identify with the Scepters name. The the fans have something to hold on to other than just Toronto PWHL, the former name. And the Scepters are planning to play at least one game so far this season at Scotiabank Arena, where the Leafs play. And I know they played one game last year there as well.
All right, Burlington Today's Chris Arnold with tonight's Closer Look.